Hi, this is Erica DELSIGNORE, and I am founder of Daily Lead Campaign, where we get you leads through social media, lead generation, as well as video marketing. And you are watching my Great Minds, Great Marketing interview series where I bring entrepreneurs from around the world right here to you to talk about their best and most fantastically productive marketing techniques. So there you go with the ad-libbing. It always comes out well. Today I am super excited to bring to you someone who has really focused on what you need to do on the inside to get the results on the outside. And we've talked about this. Paul Sokolski, founder of Breakthrough Attraction Academy, has been doing this for 25 years. And not only has he been perfecting these techniques that he's going to be talking about today, but he's also got some really incredible success stories for us, and some pretty amusing ones as well. So, Paul, thank you so much, and welcome to Great Minds, Great Marketing.
I'm so happy to be here and so excited to share my passion and my dream to help change the way the world sees what's possible, and happy to be here with you today. So thanks for the invite.
Oh, you are welcome. It's fantastic to have you here. Now, I know that you talked a little bit about, where you got your start and how your whole business works. I wonder if when you introduce your business to us today, if you can tie in the lessons you learned from your amusing story that you wanted to tell and how that got you started in what you're doing today.
Yeah, thanks for the question. It's so interesting that you asked that, and I actually was thinking about that just a couple of weeks ago in a conversation with someone else that we're helping to build out their business. I had this desire as a very young child to be an entrepreneur, and I was able to experience that at the age of 13 with a little carnival I put on in my neighborhood. And beyond that, jumping ahead, just started my company at the age of 19 and really took off very quickly. But here, just to give you a quick insight, like the biggest piece and the biggest part of my life and my learning experiences in business, people used to say that business isn't personal, and I realized a very big lesson that business is personal, and it starts from within you and who you are. So what I learned in building a business, and actually three, because I built 3 companies and own 3 companies to this day now, is that it's not really what you do. I know that the practice of getting results is in the process of doing things, but the biggest breakthrough, the biggest learning, and the biggest thing that's helped me in my growth in all aspects of my life, including my business, is the fact that it's who you become as an individual that truly defines your success, your business, and your personal life.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think really who you are and who you become shines through in everything that you do, and it can really affect the results that you're getting. So with that said, I mean, you did start your business pretty young. Which business did you start at the age of 19?
I have a decoration company still, Designs of the Future, and I was really interested in. I actually started out as a painting contractor, and started going to school for interior design, and then I took it to a decorative side where I actually studied decorative art, and studied through masters, and really kind of built that business up to over 25 employees. And then I took that company international just about 10 years ago, and was able to actually complete a project for a sheik in the Middle East. I decorated this 100,000 square foot palace.
Wow.
I worked for royalty. I was there a year and a half. So I've really been able to attract very lucrative, very influential people in my life. Donald Trump, I worked personally for him at Mar-a-Lago when I first moved to Miami. And actually just recently finished a project with the big T, Tony Robbins, just about a month ago. I've been working with him for almost 7 months now. So I've really been able to incorporate my design business into my coaching and performance catalyst company, because it's the skills, again, of what we do within ourselves. And I really kind of went from, interestingly enough, I went from interior designing people's homes to then transforming and interior designing people's hearts. And the transformation of what that looks like is pretty incredible. So, you see someone's white walls turn into this beautiful array of whatever theme they're looking for, whether they be contemporary, traditional, eclectic, whatever. And then I take someone's life and we go back and we heal the heart, and the transformation of what that looks like and how they step into their world is a completely different experience. So it's really cool how both of those worlds have been able to fuse together and become one of the same in what I do, in creativity and my artistic talent.
Wow, that's very interesting. Let me ask you this. I mean, I know, and you're probably going to cover some of this, so I don't want to jump ahead. So if I'm jumping ahead, just tell me. But
yeah.
I mean, what exactly is the process? Just starting to heal the heart and look at where someone is today and where they want to be. Like, what is the process to get them from one place to another? I mean, it sounds like psychology to me, or like, how would you compare it?
Yeah, it sounds like psychology, but actually it's not. The biggest thing for anybody to do in a process of getting started is really becoming responsible for what's happening in your life. A lot of us play the role of victim in our lives, and we follow stories that actually stop us from doing the things that we want to do. So really the first part of it is, am I taking responsibility for the things that are happening in my life? And from that question, there's many questions that go beyond that, and that really are questions in truth. Like, what is it that I actually believe about where I am? What is it that I actually believe that's going on in my life? Do I believe that things are happening to me? Most of us, I know I did in the past, I believed that everything was happening to me. And so the first way to break that state is to say, okay, look, I'm responsible for the things that are happening in my life. I'm responsible for the trajectory of my business. I'm responsible for the trajectory of my relationships, starting with myself and building into the people around me, whether that be my significant other, my friends, my clients, my coworkers, whatever that is. So to answer that, really, the first piece is taking responsibility of your life, taking responsibility of your conversation, the words that come out of your mouth and go out there and attract in the vibration and frequency of what's happening that comes back to you. And then realizing that if your life isn't everything you want it to be, most likely you are having the wrong conversation, and could also be that you're playing a role of victimization, which is a role that I played for many years of my life.
Yeah, I know, and many people are victim of becoming victims. But it's not a laughing matter. It's definitely a pattern that can repeat over and over again, and it can start when you're really young. So I mean, it must be really difficult to break a pattern that has been going on for so many years. I mean, have you found that to be true?
Very true. And that was really my quest to really read a library of books and immerse myself into my own personal development to learn. How do you just go from, okay, well, I don't want to think about that, I don't want to believe that anymore. And it took a long time for me to come to a realization and to come to a ritual, a strategy to use in my life that would actually shift me and bring me to a different space, a different focus. And that took many years in my life to learn how to do. And that's one of the gifts in what makes me an authority in what I do with people, is not only that it's not just what I do, but it's what comes through me. It's from something greater that I teach others. But also it was an understanding of this knowingness that there is something greater, and that through my experiences and everything that I've done in my life, it's taught me that first and foremost, again, that being responsible for the actions that I take and for the things that I do, it has to come from me first. And then there's many processes and experiences that go on from that. But then to change your belief, it's really asking yourself a truthful question, and that is, is this story that I've been following in my life, has this been serving me? And you start getting to some truthful answers to what's been going on in your life, and you start asking yourself questions like, why do I believe this? Why do I believe that this is impossible? Like, if I have a desire to do something, where that desire has to be coming from somewhere else. So whose voice? Like, you have a desire, you want to build your business. You want to build your business to, if it's making 50,000, you want to make $500,000. Like, and you have this excitement within you, and you're just so passionate about going out there, and you start talking to people, and then all of a sudden it's like, you wake up the next day and it's like, you're like, what happened? You start feeling nervous, you start questioning yourself. I don't think I have the education, I don't have the money, I don't have the know-how. So whose voice is that actually speaking? Like, who's actually saying that in the back of your mind? Because it's not your desire. Your true desire is your higher self that wants to step in and create something greater. That's what we're here to do, and we're here to accomplish in our life. So it's really, how do you change a belief? It's like coming to the truth of what's actually going on. Like, do I really believe that I'm not worthy? Ask yourself these questions. So I have this whole ritual and procedure that I use on my clients to get clear about what that looks like. Because you could tell somebody, yeah, well, you're amazing. Like, why do you think that way? I think everybody's amazing. I think everybody has potential to do whatever they choose to do in their life. They may not have the blueprint or the strategy, but I believe it's built in every single one of us to live and strive to our highest level. But to just tell somebody, well, start thinking this way or start focusing on this, there's other components behind it that have to happen first. And there are many processes, two of which I use on myself and my clients, which is radical forgiveness, truth, well, actually I'll name three, and then self-love practices. And these are aspects which somebody might see, well, you're telling me that I'm going to build $1 million business practicing self-love? Are you telling me I'm going to build a multi-million-dollar business by doing radical forgiveness? Yes. Yes, because it's all from an inward journey. So it is a process to change a belief. It's something that's anchored in our lives for many years.
So is this part of your belief and value system map that you wanted to bring up on the call today?
Yeah, so the belief and value system map is one of the steps to my program that I brought into this conversation because it's the foundation of what I teach in my program. And why is it the foundation of what I teach? Because, you mentioned it earlier, like, from a very young age, we're born into my philosophy. I'll call it my hallucination. Is that we were born into this world. We came from a greater place and with no limitation and with love, and we are born into this environment. And I believe that we're not, it's not that our parents or our environment didn't love us, but habitual patterns teach us out of our greatness. And then we start learning things that really aren't true, and we follow them because nobody told us to ask questions. We don't have, as children, we don't have the right? So we're always, there's an authority always telling us what to do. So we start forming at a very young age when the subconscious mind is being developed between the age of 1 and 6. We're taking all of these things in around us, and what our perception in that moment is that it's true. And these things start becoming anchored in our mind, and they're patterns that we then follow as we get older. And then what happens is we don't realize, but a lot of times in our life when we're trying to step into something that we want to do, something that we want to accomplish, there's some kind of ceiling. And that ceiling is the subconscious mind really not trying to hurt us, but rather protect us from doing something it doesn't quite know how to do. We programmed it to stop us somewhere. So the belief and value system map is a map that basically takes us back to the beginning, from an earliest age that we can remember when we started taking on beliefs about things that most likely in this day are not true. Okay, something that we perceived that our parents told us, or an experience that we had that we felt was very traumatic at the time, and we held that very deep in our heart. It scarred us. It was traumatizing. And for somebody, that could be physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. It could be bullying in school, whatever it looks like, but we don't realize that we carry these pieces on in our lives. And you tend to start believing that you're not worthy. Well, how can I have this in my life? I'm not worthy. How can I charge my client $25,000 for a coaching program? I'm not worthy enough. Just because I have 25 years experience in business. Like, all of these things would run through my mind, and I work for some of the biggest names out there in the industry, and I've been able to step on some of the biggest stages and work with the best of the best and mentors out there. But there was a time and a part of me where I didn't believe that these things were true, and I couldn't understand why. And that piece, that place, and that pit that I had to hit in my life after failed marriages and killing myself and my business to try to create something that was already within me. And that was the day, that was the moment that I realized something more. And why is it that I'm following this? What's shutting me down? Why can I continue to follow through with my desire? What is stopping me? And I realized that that belief had become so anchored that the only way to break that in one of the steps in the belief and value system map was really getting truthful about what that meant in my life. And there's many parts of that, but basically the belief and value system map is such that it brings out the truth and the belief system that we brought on ourselves through our experience and in our environment, and to get really clear about the truth on those things. And that's just not, that's not just one thing. It's a process, a couple of processes that I use within that program, within that step, to bring people through this experience, this journey that they've been on, and really give them the clarity so that they can be crystal clear on the decisions they make in their personal life, in their business, in their spiritual life. And then with that understanding, when they see the synchronicities to that belief system and how it's hindered them in their lives. I'm not saying people's lives are a nightmare, but maybe it's not everything you want it to be. And so it's maybe one thing that you need to know that can take it to the next level. And so once you understand through the belief and value system map how these things have been running you, I mean, and that's based on many different belief systems, but when you get clear about that and you start seeing how that's held you back or hindered you, there's a moment in time in that clarity where you're able to release that through a couple of other processes that I use in radical forgiveness and letting go, and then we create a focus of something new. Now that doesn't mean that that belief disappears and never comes back. It will. It will always be there. See, that's the thing that most people, that's where they get stumped. They think, okay, I've done this work and this is never going to come back again. It's not true. It will always come back. It's always going to be there. It's like an app on your phone. It's there until you click on it. It's going to open itself up. But here's the difference. The difference after you understand in the process of the belief and value system map, the difference is you have a tool now, you have a ritual and a strategy to take your focus off of that belief and know that that was just a story. And then focus on the desire and dream that you're going after, using the rituals and the tools and being committed to being consistent in that process.
Well, that's fascinating. And I'm so glad that you have that system down to help people, really break through, make those breakthroughs and help them succeed. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about the marketing of the business? Now that we have an idea about what you're doing?
Definitely, please.
Fantastic. So when you started this business, you probably had a lot of ups and downs. I mean, you have 3 businesses. Are there any experiences that could, possibly, things that you learned from that could possibly help the audience today?
Yeah, well, the first piece of that is, which is one of my biggest lessons, I want to start with that, was the power of investing in myself, like investing in me to learn. Now, some of the people that may be listening or watching this today are in the process of maybe thinking about leaving a job and moving into their dream business, whatever that is, and they may not have that roadmap. So the difference is really this. There's 2 ways to go about this. You can go out about it trying to figure it out. You could spend a lot of money, and I'm not saying that you're not going to get there, but if you want to get somewhere quickly, if you want to get to your desire in the right way, hiring somebody that's already done what you have done and succeeded in the things that you have done, that you're looking to do, was for me one of the biggest learning lessons, first big learning lesson in starting my business. And that was years ago. That's, at 19, at the age of 21 years old, I mean, I would go to people's doors for estimates, and they would be like, looking around like, where's your dad? Like, they're like, you're too young to be owning a business. So I needed credibility. And I joined an organization at the time called the PDCA, the Painting and Decorating Contractors of America, and very quickly I became second vice president of this organization, and I really involved myself with people that were doing what it is that I wanted to be doing, like at the level that I wanted to be playing at, and to be in the energy of these people, to be able to see that they were doing what it was that I wanted to do, made it so much more made it even more passionate for me to know that, okay, that's in alignment with my belief system. Like, it's not like, okay, I want to do something and I don't know what it looks like. Like, when you're trying to go at it on your own and you're not in that environment, it's a lot harder. I'm not saying you can't do it, but to hire somebody to help you do, which is what I help people with now, to do what I've done in over 25 years of business in a fraction of the time, and to learn how to do that. So number one, to answer your question, is really the investment in myself and the power behind that and what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
The second piece.
Investing in yourself. Okay, and then second part is?
The second part was after learning that, was that I had this very large coat rack. I should call it a hat rack in my office because I wore many hats. Okay, I was the accountant, I was the attorney, I was the insurance guy, I was the PR guy, you know, the estimator, and you name it, the coach, the whole 9 yards. So I realized how important it was in building a team, delegating responsibilities to people, and really getting clear about how much time you want to invest into your business. Now, I know there's a lot of conversation out there about stop trading time for dollars, and I get all that. And we want to build our life up, if that's your desire, like it is mine, to be able to live on an island like I live on, and live on the beach, and do my work from my office, which is outside, and to be able to experience that. That takes some work. You can get there, but there's time involved with that. So you need to put some time into this. But delegating a team of people who have experience in the things that you're stepping into and can take that part of your day over so that you can concentrate and focus on building your business. So if you're building a coaching company, you know, that is number one, most important. If you want a successful business, you can build the websites, definitely needed. You can build the funnels, definitely needed. You can get out there and meet people, definitely needed. But if you're not doing sales, if you don't implement sales, you have no business. So first and foremost, it's like hire the people to delegate, to build those things out, and get on the phone, get out there and network, and talk to people about your passion and your business. If it's something other than a coaching business, whatever that looks like for you, you want to spend the time in building relationships, because that's the key factor. My 25 years in business, the biggest success in my business has been the relationship building process. And in doing business in the Middle East was the most incredible thing to watch, because I'm looking at a multi-million-dollar deals on a handshake, and because they built a relationship with these people.
Wow.
They wined and dined people. They went out to dinner. They went to families' homes. Like, you would think that these people knew each other for years, but they were establishing a relationship. One of the things I see in business nowadays is that, you know, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people just want to go out there and they want to make the money, and that's great. But, you know, it's also servicing people and giving them the results that they need. So in building a relationship, it's so funny. A perfect example, just got a new car with my girlfriend. She just got a new car. She got a hybrid BMW. And the sales guy was, you know, he was a sales guy, you know, I mean, nice guy, but, you know, just talking really fast. And I listened. So I had to stop him and ask questions. Long story short, the deal's over. The car's off the lot. We drive home. Next thing we got questions. There's no communication anymore. It's stopped. It's like the sale's done and it's over. It's like, if you want to serve people, go beyond the sale. Sales is not something you do to somebody. It's something you do for them. So it's continuing the conversation. So if your objective is just to go out there and sell somebody, and that's all there is, and not to get them results, it's going to be a different experience. So there's building relationships, I'm kind of getting off track a little bit, but just giving that example, building relationships. I've done it in my company. It's been extremely successful. I've seen it in practices in other businesses. It's the best by far. So investing in yourself, and number two, building a team of people that you can delegate so that you can go out there and expose yourself to build the relationships that will solidify, that will take your business and catapult it to the next level of where you're going.
Well, thank you very much. Those are really good lessons. I think that a lot of entrepreneurs are guilty of doing everything because they feel like they're the only ones that can do it the right way, or, you know, like you said, they just get bogged down. They may not have the money to hire help, but, you know, I think really the best thing to do is to write down all those jobs that you're doing, all the hats that you're wearing, and start delegating the things that are really not, you know, what you're best at, right? And definitely get some low-dollar people to try to help you, you know, get some of the busy work done so that you're not getting, you know, all caught up in that. So if you're able to make $1,000 an hour or whatever it is, you definitely shouldn't be working at the $10, $15, $20 hour jobs. Make sure you have everybody in the appropriate seats. I mean, I don't know if you would agree with that.
Totally. It's like, you have to look at your business. You have to dissect your business and break it down into sections. And the core of the business is you. And you need to know. There's another important step to this. And when I help people build their companies out, again from the inside out, when we get clear about what's been stopping them, helping them to shift their belief system through the belief and value system map, then it's like really getting a blueprint to what they're looking for in their life, in their business, and that involves many things. It's not just the time that you want to spend in your business, but the lifestyle that you want to have, how you want to create this, and then implementing the right people to be able to do that. Now, in the beginning, of course, you're going to have to wear a couple of hats. I mean, I did that even when I started my performance catalyst company. It was a very short period of time because I've already been through the run or two times. I knew what it was like to build a business. I mean, the foundation is pretty much the same. But as you're starting to bring money in, I mean, I think the most important thing for the listeners out there and the people that are watching this who are just getting involved with this, you don't have to go out there and put yourself in debt to build your business. I mean, there is a way to do it where you can build it as you go. And if you're continually practicing and continually bringing the sales in, you have a strategy, which is, again, what I help people do. Like, you have a strategy of where you want to be. We hold you accountable for the numbers that you want to bring in. And then through that process, as the money comes in, now we feed that into other piles, so to speak, or other avenues of what you're trying to build in the business, rather than trying to go out there and, like you said, and do it all. And having this plan is very helpful. And then the structure of that and how that ties into everything you want to see and how your business runs will show you how that plays out. Now, things do change, but in the beginning, it's a little bit of work because you're just kind of starting out, and you need to get a feel for what it is that's happening. But it's in the process. There has to be a strategy if you want to build your business out. Like, if you want to have a seven-figure business, even if you want a high six-figure business, there's some point in time where you're going to need to have a personal assistant, or I have a personal assistant. I have a virtual assistant. I have many people doing things for me. I have people right now working in New York, while I'm here in Miami, and it's taken me a long time to do that, to be able to create that kind of, funnel into my business. But it's starting off with a plan, getting yourself out there. I think getting your hands in the muck of all these things first and foremost, so that you understand what's happening. And I'm not saying you have to master advertising and marketing and all those other things, but get yourself involved, know enough about it so that you can ask the right questions, and then who you're hiring are the right people.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely believe in learning the process yourself first, so that when you do hire people or teach people how to do what you need them to do, you have some kind of idea of how it's supposed to work. So I think that's a fantastic practice. I know we're going to be heading up against the clock here, but there was one more question, and then I wanted to ask you about your offer today. So the first of the last two questions really is, you've done a lot of marketing for your business, and I know that you're an expert speaker, and I'd love to know, what is the combination of marketing tactics that you use to help really catapult your business? And I know there's a lot of different things you can do, so it's really helpful to hear what's working for you.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it kind of stems back, like, this is what practice and what works for me. Now, this, for someone who's introverted, maybe this wouldn't be a practice for them, but the most and biggest successful marketing for myself has been, just to tap back to what we talked about just a little bit earlier on building relationships. For me, it's speaking and it's sponsorships. When I am on stage, when I'm able to share my story, when I'm able to really connect with people, to really be there, I'm the same guy on stage as I am off stage. And so to be able to be in front of a room and share my gift and share my message and share my story, and then have a booth where people are able to come, sign up for a strategy session, get to know me more on a deeper level, and really connect and build that relationship. Now, I'm also in the process of, that's first and foremost the most successful for me. And I've since my beginnings of my performance catalyst company, that has been the biggest success piece for me. That will always, for me and my business, that will always be the foundation of my marketing, because I believe that, you know, one-on-one, the presence of being in front of people, for me, has been the most successful marketing tool that I've used. Now, I am moving into the online piece and building out funnels and driving traffic to, you know, through JVs and affiliates and whatnot, and building that part of my business up, because there is some automation in my company that I want to set up too, because there are a lot of gigs that I'm going to be traveling and doing, and retreats and events of my own that I do, and so I'm not always able to be there all the time. So it's nice to be able to still serve people, but again, I believe your presence in front of people, in marketing yourself through conversation in front of people, for me, has been one of the most successful pieces of my business. I mean, really, like, took my business, you know, like up into the 6 figures almost immediately. I mean, again, as I said, I mean, I jumped in, moved very quickly. I worked with the best of the best in the market. I invested pretty heavily in getting on stages, you know, speaking on stages with people like Laura Langmeyer, Ted McGrath, I mean, you know, big people, and just, you know, putting myself out there, because I knew and I was passionate about how I wanted to get my message out. And speaking just happened to be the way for me to market myself and do that. And then not only the speaking part of it, but then also the sponsorship. So there are rooms where you can actually go in, as long as it's your audience, and you could purchase, you know, they have speaking sponsorship packages where you have a booth set up, and, you know, you're on stage and you're driving traffic back to, unless you're selling from stage, you're bringing people back to your booth, and you're having that conversation and just getting to know them on a different level. And I think for me personally, it's, you know, I'm great on video and I love shooting video, but for someone that doesn't really know me, the connection is far greater in a room in front of somebody. So that's been my biggest success story in my marketing piece.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, you know, I do the same thing. I get most of my sales from conferences and speaking and sponsoring events. So I absolutely agree. You know, that is really something that works. So before we go, I definitely want to talk about your offer for the audience today, because I know you've been very generous in offering a free session with yourself, I believe. Before I mess it up, I'm going to let you go ahead and explain exactly what it is that you wanted to offer the audience today.
Yeah, you're a superstar. You can't mess anything up. But thank you very much. Yeah, so what I want to offer today is just, you know, I don't know where you are in your business, where you are in your personal life. And again, I'm not stating that or claiming that your life's a nightmare, but if you're stuck with something, if there's something that you're passionate about learning more about, go to my website, paulsokolski.com, www.paulsokolski.com. I've got a couple of videos up there. Sign up, opt in, get on my schedule. Let's get on the phone. Let's have a conversation about what might be challenging you, and really help you to get crystal clear about something that you're looking to do in your life, some desire, whatever that is, whether it's in your personal life or stepping into a business, or maybe it's taking your business to the next level. And also, I'm doing a very deep immersion retreat that's going to be coming up in October here in Paradise. I live in Key Biscayne, Florida. Everything I do around my programs are around nature. I do actually, it's true, I live on the beach. My programs are on the beach, and it's a way to really reconnect. And so I'd like to, if it's a fit for the conversation, depending on where people are, because it's not, I don't bring everybody in it. I'm not looking to fill it or sell it out. I'm looking to bring the right people in who resonate with my message, and that's something that we can get clear about on the conversation in my breakthrough strategy session. So that's what I'm offering today. My time, there's a lot of value there. I've got over 30 years experience in business and experience in relationships, and would love to, you know, open that up for you and wherever you are in your life.
I think that's fantastic, and it's very generous. Excuse me. It's very generous of you to offer that to the audience, and I do hope everyone takes Paul up on that. I do have the website up on this this Facebook post, so you'll get that. And if you're watching this later on a video blog where I have links added to that, then you can certainly click on that and get to Paul's website where you can sign up for this fantastic opportunity to sit down and talk to somebody who could redecorate your heart and your life just with a simple conversation to get you started. So I really do appreciate you being on the call today. We're pretty much out of time, but you're really quick. Before you go, what is the latest, greatest book that you've been reading?
Tony Robbins' Unshakable. Like, that's the most incredible book. Like, I love that book. I'm actually on my second read, so that's the latest and greatest book in my library of books right now.
Okay, fantastic. So you heard it here first from Paul, Unshakable by Tony Robbins, and I hope everybody goes out and checks that out as well. I want to thank you so much again for being on the show today. It's certainly been my pleasure having you, and I'm sure the audience's pleasure watching and learning from this fantastic perspective you have on business. Never heard anything like it, and I'm so glad that I have now. So thanks again for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Well, I will look forward to seeing everybody. This is Erica DELSIGNORE, the founder of Daily Lead Campaign. We will have more fantastic entrepreneurs on in the coming weeks, and I'll look forward to having you watch then. So thanks again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.